What's good? My name's JCS, and I'm just another person on the internet trying to get clicks by talking about things that happened on wrestling because that's the popular thing to do. But to be fair, I'm not a WWE fan per se, but have been for the past, 20 something, 30 something years. Even though you don't watch regularly, but that's not the point. The point is that Naomi and Sasha Banks walked out on Monday Night Raw, which was this past Monday, which was May, 17th, 16th, whatever. They walked off pretty much before the show started, and this began this whole kerfluffle, if you will, on the Twitterverse, because as you know, wrestling fans are, and journalists, no, not so much journalists, but wrestling fans are pretty much chaotic. And it's the tribalism, and it's this, that, and the third. And I'm just here to see what happens between the Sasha Banks stands and the quote-unquote WWE drones. But I'm also here to provide you a secondary perspective on what took place. Essentially, the TLDR is as such. There was the match for the main event of Raw was a six-pack challenge between Sasha Banks, Naomi, who are tag team champions, Doudrop, Nikki Ash, ASH, whatever, Asuka, or as I call it, Asuka, and Becky Lynch. And the winner would face, I believe, Bianca Belair at the next pay-per-view, which I think is Hell in a Cell. I don't know. Don't quote me. Long story short, or short story long, Sasha Banks and Naomi left after trying to have several talks with the higher-ups. The story goes, depending on who you look for, who you ask, that they've gone to multiple people, including Vince McMahon, regarding the situation and basically trying to get some direction for their characters. And what was supposed to happen is that I believe Naomi pinned Sasha, which is strange because they're the tag team champions. Their tag team titles wouldn't be defended until after the pay-per-view. I think maybe after Hell in a Cell or whatever. And on top of that, then Sasha would wind up going into a program in Hell in a Cell to face Ronda Rousey in a losing effort. As you know, wrestling is predetermined, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, so you would have essentially your tag team champions are there to uplift your singles division, while the tag team championships, the women's tag team champions, just lament on the sidelines. This has happened more than once in WWE based on the news and based on what you can see on Twitter and this, that, and the third. So as the story goes, Sasha and Naomi they presented their issues. They were told that, they will be able to focus on the tag team division, and as such, that wasn't the case because they would have their match later on. So they took their championships, women's tag team titles, and gave them to John Laurinaitis before getting the step in and peacing out. And so begins the whirlwind, the torrential downpour of opinions, such as my own and everybody else, regarding said situation. So here's my perspective on the topic, and it's probably much different than most wrestling perspectives. At the end of the day, if you treat wrestling as a job, as you treat all jobs, you can look about it two ways. You can look about it as getting your paycheck, doing what you're told, and being about your business. Nothing's wrong with that. As a matter of fact, there's plenty of people who do that. And again, there's really nothing wrong with that. And on the flip side, you also have that type of person or persons who look at it as something more, as something that's artistic, as something that's a form of expression, as something is to showcase their athleticism, i.e. more than a paycheck. Again, there's nothing wrong with that either. The problem is when you try to combine the two. You should just be happy to get a paycheck. Some people are just happy to get a paycheck. There's plenty of names that you can name. I'm sure if you want to put them in the comments, by all means, there's plenty of people. And then there's other people who will, like Tony Storm, walk out. Like CM Punk in 2014, walk out. Well, he walked out for different reasons. He walked out for health and sanity reasons. Like, who was the other one? Jeff Hardy, a damn near legend who walked out during a match. Like, the list of people who walk out on WWE is pretty damn long. And there's people who want to stay home, like Mustafa Ali, who stood home for a long time and then just got called right back up. Some people are happy to collect a paycheck, and some people want something more. There's nothing necessarily wrong with either or. That's the issue. Some people want to argue, oh, you're getting paid, you should do what you're told. That's fine, but then there's also people who just want to have, that thing. It's like with any employment. Like for myself, if I was in a job and I was unhappy, I would not be at that job. I would look for something else, or I would look to make that job make me happy. And I've managed to do that in my personal life. And I'm sure that some people don't have that benefit or don't have that luxury, but sometimes you just got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And sometimes after a certain amount of time, money is no longer an issue. It's about your happiness. And some people can grasp that concept, some people can't. It's really about how you look at things. So it's just funny to see how everybody's taking this, as opposed, if you look at the WWE, what they put out, their press release stated basically that they were unprofessional, this, that, and the third, and da-da-da-da. Which is funny to say that, as Raw is always just redone over and over and over, if you can trust what you read on the internet, which maybe you can, maybe you can't. At the end of the day, it just really boils down to how you want to look at this kind of situation. Are you for or against it? Me personally, it's like, hey, man, if you're not happy, don't do it. Oh, hey, but you're getting paid. Yeah, great. And you know what? Don't pay me no more. Let me do something else. It is what it is. That's you have to do what's right for yourself. And if you're told one thing, that's the other thing too. If you're told one thing continually and then you kind of get the opposite of what you're told, that builds resentment. You have to understand that. Think about that as a human being. Let's say you work someplace, right? And you're promised, I don't know, maybe you're promised to move from a different department because the department you're in stinks and you hate it. But hey, they're going to put you in this better department. It's a different position. Maybe it pays less, maybe it pays more, but you know what? It gives you quality of mind. It gives you peace of mind. It gives you quality of life. It makes you happy. So, hey, whatever, take a pay cut, make the move. And then you go and you don't get transferred. You go and you don't get transferred. Then eventually they transfer you, but they transfer you to a different department where it's actually worse and you're angry. So now it's what? Do what you're told and shut up and get your paycheck? Nah, I'm out of here. Kiss my grits, kiss my ass. And don't let the door hit me on the way out or hit you on the way in. You know what I'm saying? I don't really understand that concept that some people have. Maybe it's just simplicity in thought. I don't know. I'm not really fishing for drama, but it's just I can understand the situation from kind of both ends of the spectrum. And what I find funny the most, as I said, is WWE, their statement was essentially painting a picture of, their participants in that match, basically stating that they didn't trust so participants, which is led to be believed not true at all. It's just, propaganda, essentially. Where was this same energy when you had Tony Storm walk out? Where was this energy when CM Punk walked out? Where was this energy when Jeff Hardy walked out? As a matter of fact, you tried to get Jeff Hardy to come on back by trying to lure him with whatever. They tried to kind of stick it to Jeff Hardy with little releases and basically saying about rehab, this, that, and the third. But when it came out, that wasn't the case. They tried to stick it back to, hey, we'll put you in the Hall of Fame, trying. And then it's very weird. You understand it when it's corporate culture, I guess, but it's strange to me. So at the end of the day, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't think this is quote unquote, and I hate using this terminology, a work. I think this is a legitimate issue that happened and legitimate frustration from participants in said whatever circus. 3-ring circus, a competitor, I don't know what the hell you want to call it. At the end of the day, put yourself in these people's shoes. Maybe they're quote unquote I hate that, it marks for themselves as well. Who knows? At the end of the day, though, you do have to just look out for yourself and your well-being and what makes you happy. And sometimes it might not be the golden goose. And that's what I got to say. So tell me what you think. You think they did right? You think they did wrong? You think they're overreacting? You think they're underreacting? What do you think? Walking out in wrestling is nothing new. And not even nothing new in WWE. It's happened as long as the world is long. Whatever. It's happened in the territory days. You just didn't go to the next town. You went somewhere else. It's always happened. So tell me what you think below if you want. Take it easy. Bye.